All right, well, welcome to another edition of Life Isn't Over. I'm your host, Jeff Pickett, and this is episode 17. And today we're going to talk about overtraining. I was looking through my logs today, and I had a 14-miler today. Didn't go as well as I planned. The first 7 went off really well. I experimented, and this is what happens when you experiment. I experimented with some sport beans, which I typically eat before I run, which gives me a nice little boost. Some of them have caffeine in them and give you a nice boost. And I typically always have them before I run, and then I take GU as I run. And taking the sport beans while I ran today, not a good decision, but I'm glad that I did it today as opposed to doing it during an actual marathon. So be sure that if you're experimenting with shoes, any equipment, that you've checked it out during a regular run. So for me, sport beans don't work. So that's a side lesson there. That's a free one for you today. But I don't know if it was because of that or lack of nutrition off of normally having the gel GU, because I only ate maybe half the bag of the beans and I didn't really fill up on anything else until about mile 12. Really wore me out. I wanted to get about a 9:57 pace. In actuality, I think it was closer to like a 10:08 pace. So not that bad, but you know, when you're 41 and competitive, or trying to be competitive with yourself, that is, you're always looking for chinks in the armor. So one of the things I want to talk about again is overtraining. This particular month, June of 2009, is the most miles I've run in any month of my life. I think right now I've got about 134 miles. I've got a 7-miler on Tuesday, so that means I'll run 141 miles. And then I was looking ahead and mapping out my schedule for next month in July, and according to my Runner's World training plan, I'll be close to 165, 167 miles, which makes me smile, but at the same time it makes me a little nervous because I've never run that far. So it gives me a feeling of accomplishment, of empowerment, but I want to be prepared. And I also want to be careful that I'm not overtraining. And I guess I'm not going to jump too hastily on the overtrain bandwagon. But I still want to talk about it because I think it is something that new runners need to be careful about. So here are just a few things that you should be careful about when you're overtraining. Number one is always kind of take a look at your heart rate. When you wake up in the morning, or even when you're sitting around, take a look at that heart rate and see how it is. And if you see that it's jumping up on any given day, that could be a sign that you are indeed overtraining. Are you getting headaches? Are you getting muscle aches and pains? Sometimes the body just starts to fall apart and it's like dominoes. So monitor your aches, your pains. Are they associated with if you land on a rock the wrong way, of course, then that explains that. But if you're getting more and more pain, joint pain, then you need to be concerned about that, and that's when you need to watch out about overtraining. Insomnia is another one. Are you having difficulty sleeping? Headaches. All of these are different signs of overtraining, and that's where you've got to kind of drop your ego at the door, take a look at things and say, okay, I think I'm going to give myself a day or two off this week. Or maybe you have to give yourself the full week off. And the positives to that are that if you do take a week off, your hunger for running may come back into the picture. Sometimes if you overtrain, you just don't want to get out there. So by skipping a week, maybe that's one way to kind of get the feel back in, the energy back in. So overtraining, again, if you've got ideas on overtraining or some things that you've encountered, please put those in the comment section below. I would love to hear those. Let's see, I'm looking at my little script of other things that I wanted to talk about. One of the things, I guess, is I'm a big motivator, sometimes maybe too much on the external as opposed to the internal. But I've said again and again that my girls are my biggest motivator because I want to be around for a long time. And I like to think I look younger than 41. But one of the things I'm going to do, I got this little necklace a few weeks ago, and I think one of the things I want to do is I've designed a little logo, which I'll put at the end of this video blog, so you'll get to see the little logo that I've created. Kind of a O that shifts up so it becomes an S. I think that's S there. So O for Olivia, S for Sophia, my little girls. so that whenever I'm on my runs, I'll always take them with me. Could go the tattoo route, but I don't know if I'm the tattoo kind of guy, at least not yet anyway. So find some way, if you so desire, for that motivation, and that's just one of several 100,000 different ways to get you motivated and to really find a reason behind why you're running your marathon or your half marathon or your 10K or 5K. So, okay, well that's it. Very short edition for today. Check us out. I just added a profile on Runcast TV. A lot of good running videos on there. So with that said, as always, I hope to see you out on the trails.